So this is how it has to be, Microsoft. First, you came out with the original Xbox, which was a pretty solid console. The Xbox 360 was very dominant. The PlayStation 3 eventually caught back up, but you guys were seeming to find your place in the gaming space. Xbox One came out and you pulled a fast one, tried to put DRM out. You still kind of brought it back. We'll talk about that later. You had all this online requirements that no one liked, and thankfully the people spoke against it. But Microsoft being Microsoft, you got to know that their plans are years in advance. So when their plans didn't work, they had to find a way to bring it back, and they did through Game Pass. And that was another trick. Game Pass was given away for a lot of us. It was $1. You get all these games for basically next to nothing, and they were tricking us. Then you bought major studios, Activision, Blizzard, Bethesda. You've been making promises that you haven't been keeping. And all the while, all you've been doing is slowly trying to get people into a digital-only future, drift people away from the Xbox console into a PC space, which I don't know how you're going to win that market when Steam is here. You now have a new portable you're coming out, which is just you slapping your name on something that already exists. You're doing this thing where games are not releasing physically, or rather they are physical copies, at least for PlayStation, but there's nothing on the disc. So essentially, like I said, DRM is back. And you're doing all this, and admittedly, you do have games I'm interested in. You have games that I do want to play, but it's very hard to recommend an Xbox console, let alone supporting Microsoft as a whole anymore because of your horrible business practices. Microsoft did not get into gaming because they cared about gaming. Now, I'm talking about in the console space. Microsoft has been involved with gaming since the PC days with Windows, of course. And they've even made their own games here or there, but it was very few and far between. They didn't get heavily into the gaming space until the original Xbox. And the reason they did that is because they saw how Sony was able to get the PlayStation in everybody's home. So they wanted to find a way, how could we get in everyone's home to push Windows and other Microsoft products? And that's how you got the original Xbox, the 360, and so on and so forth. The problem is that Microsoft never really cared about gaming like that. They may have some people in the company that do, and a gamer here or there is cool, but they don't really care. They just want to own a bunch of stuff and then dictate the market with their money and power. And the good thing is, sort of good thing is, that the games they're putting out a lot of times don't do well, even if they're decent games. So it's kind of a weird thing where Microsoft is fighting losing a lot of money, but they have basically infinite funds versus the people who aren't even supporting their stuff. So it's a weird thing where we as gamers are held hostage. Obsidian is one of my favorite studios, and they're making Outer Worlds 2. That game's not even released physically, basically anywhere. It seems like it's going to be a dope game. It might require an online connection. Hopefully that online connection on the PS5 version is just so you can download the rest of the game, but who knows how that will work. Tony Hawk is with them now, and yes, we're getting remakes, but we see how they're handling that. A lot of people don't like that the career mode is gone because Microsoft probably genuinely just doesn't care. They want to push Xbox and the Xbox brand, which in turn is the Microsoft brand. And that's all they care about. They want to put Xbox any and everywhere. And the games are basically unimportant. But the games is how you're going to get where you need to go. It really doesn't make any sense. But Microsoft knows as long as the games are affordable, you will be there. That's why when it comes to their own ecosystem, they're offering you Game Pass for next to nothing. You can get Game Pass for $1 a lot of the time. You don't even have to pay the full price. And now that it seems like the next Xbox system, which is coming out, I'm pretty sure that's going to be digital only. It's going to be a digital only Xbox. It's probably going to be $500 to $600. It's probably going to be more powerful than the PlayStation. But I really hope this doesn't push Sony to drop PS6 because they don't really need to. Because as long as Xbox isn't dropping any games and no developer is finna push their games beyond the limits that they're doing now anyway, it is irrelevant. Microsoft dropping a brand new system would be pointless unless it's a pro, which could kind of work, but even then, I don't think anyone's going to buy an Xbox. Microsoft has lost the people. They've lost the public, and it's because Microsoft came into an industry that they never came about. Granted, Sony got into console gaming because they were slighted by Nintendo, but they genuinely had people that cared about gaming, and we've seen over the years they have curated people who cared about gaming and invested the time and money into it. So even if Sony didn't care initially and it was just kind of on some revenge type stuff to what Nintendo did, at least they cared at some point. Microsoft comes off sleazy. They come off like they're predators in the industry. They come off like they don't really care about our hobby. And it's very weird. It's very weird because I used to think I knew their end goal. Their end goal was to put Xbox and the Microsoft brand in anyone's home, but no one wants the freaking Xbox, so it's not working. And they're not doing anything to make it work. They think by giving us games for next to nothing, that will work. But let me tell you the trick with that. Game Pass only works for the ultra casual. And even that doesn't work because even they're realizing, why am I paying 15 to 20 to 30, however much it costs? I don't remember anymore. The price keeps fluctuating a month, and I don't even play games like that. If I want to play one game out of the year, I come out better just buying that one game. They're realizing they're not even playing half the games available on Game Pass. So why pay for it every month or pay for it every year? It's cheaper to just buy the game once and that's the end of it. Wait for a sale, buy it once and that's the end of it. Don't have to keep paying for it just to use it. And then that's if it even stays on Game Pass, it may go away. And if you want to play, you got to buy it anyway. It's not working. Nothing they're doing is working. Everyone hates what they're doing. No one likes them. Even the diehard Xbox fans are grasping for straws, trying to find any reason to just say Microsoft is doing something good. Perfect Dark, canceled. Many people laid off because Microsoft is incompetent. Well, let me tell you that back. They're not incompetent. Microsoft doesn't care. They have the money to throw around, people's jobs, people's careers, people's dreams. That doesn't matter because the bottom line is Microsoft just wants to push their agenda, which I don't even know if they remember what it was anymore. I don't even think Microsoft is really competing with anyone anymore. I have no idea what they're doing. I don't think anyone can safely say we understand Microsoft's strategy. At this point, I thought that at anything, they were just trying to do a graceful bowing out. But how can you do that when you just spent I think they spent $8 billion on like all these studios and an investment into the new Xbox. And now they had to pay some money to slap their name on that portable device. What are they doing? They just had a showcase and you're canceling Perfect Dark. You're canceling other games. Developers are losing their job. Then you have to think about it this way. They're also trying to push AI into creating games, which looks horrible. But of course, over time, it may get a little bit better. I don't think it will ever get as good as making just a good game, especially a new good game. If anything, AI might be able to just mimic something that already exists and not even that well. So from a developer standpoint, if you're a smart developer and want to keep your job, at this point, you're probably thinking, why do I even want to work for Microsoft? I don't understand what their angle is. I don't think anyone does. Microsoft, it's sad to say, it's been horrible for the gaming space. Yes, I remember the good times. The original Xbox with Halo and their push for online gaming was cool. I even like the fact that they basically introduced, they weren't the first to do it, but they made it popular to allow for downloaded content so you could get extra content for your games. A lot of people want extra content for games, and that was cool that they did that. Xbox Live Arcade had a lot of great games on there. They helped the indie scene grow on consoles. All that stuff is good. But at this point, Microsoft is being left in the dust. There is no one reasonably saying, I'm going to buy Xbox One over a PS5. I'm going to buy Xbox One even over a Switch. All their games are going everywhere else. The only reason I still have my original Xbox One is because it's not worth much money to sell. And I do have a few games that I don't personally want to rebuy on PC, and I might as well just play it on my Xbox that I have. At this point, there is no reason to buy an Xbox. It's no reason to stick with Xbox because they're not sticking with us. They're doing horrible things, so much so that their diehard fans have moved on. And I don't even see new people saying, like, when's the last time you heard someone say, I just got into gaming and I choose Xbox as my brand of choice? That's my brand. I love Xbox. If you love their controller, you can use their controller on practically anything. Xbox Live, I don't even hear people talk about Xbox. It's not unique anymore. I don't even hear people talk about PSN, to be fair. People use Discord now to chat. It's just over. Halo, been over since Reach, so basically since Bungie left. Gears had a couple, I thought Gears 4 was cool, but Gears is falling off. Fable, I never was into Fable, so don't ask me about that. But the new Fable, we still haven't seen just clear gameplay of that. But Perfect Dark being gone, that's crazy. Because that game looked good. It looked like it was on its way. And I don't know, man. What does Microsoft have that's worth talking about anymore? At this point, I understand money talks. I just hope Microsoft doesn't buy any more studios. Because I'm sure Activision's still doing just as fine as it ever was because Call of Duty is a big seller. But when I think about it, over time, I wouldn't be surprised if that falls off too, because Microsoft is in the business of they just don't they don't they're looking for the bottom line. I wouldn't be surprised if Call of Duty loses its campaign, which is something a lot of people have been hoping that never happens. It might be always online eventually. You might get microtransacted out of the wazoo. Microsoft has to find a way to make up the money that they lost, even though they have like basically unlimited amount of funds, but they still want to make money. Their shareholders are eventually going to be like, yo, why are y'all? I wouldn't be surprised if that's what we're seeing in the making. The shareholders are saying, listen, y'all need to find a way to cut off Xbox. If y'all want to shift it to something else, we're cool with that. We'll support that. But this system, this unit needs to go away. This system, or you need to revamp it and turn to something way more affordable so that we can. I go to the store and it's like, the Xbox section is a ghost town. Not because it's like no one over there. Like they've gotten to the point where it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. It's getting smaller and smaller and smaller at every store I go to. It's getting to the point where you're like, where are even the Xbox games? A ton of Xbox controllers, but where are the games? Where's the system? I don't even think stores are really stocking them anymore because they're not moving. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section. Are you disappointed in Xbox? Are you sad about Perfect Dark going away? Me at this point, I'm not shocked by any of it. I just think that it's time where we need to call it what it is. Microsoft is not for the gamers. They are not doing anything that seems good that they are doing is a trick. And in the end, I don't even think it's wise to invest in them. Unless you want to play on, I think Microsoft will still be here for PC. And even if they're not here for PC gamers and the PC community are smart enough where if any moment your stuff goes away legally, they done cracked it. You can get it. So if you want to play Xbox related stuff on a PC, maybe even on a PlayStation 5 or a Switch, knock yourself out. But on the Xbox itself, I wouldn't even deal with them no more. Peace out, keep gaming. Let me know what you think in the comments.